Welcome back to Battle for Greyport. We're playing the revised version of the Interrupted Party, which came in the expansion pack, Battle for Greyport Pirates. Alright, we have the defending player to start this episode for today is Kronos the Mage. He has no monsters in front of him. We only have one monster left, the giant Cobra, at Greyport City Hall. And so we have to play, we can play a hero from each character. And so I think we're going to go ahead and I think we're going to play the clergyman for the boatswain. He has no items he can attach to the clergyman, so he will play clergyman, which will be rolling a yellow die, and then we're going to have Kronos play, I guess, himself, and he might as well use a chrono meter as well, so he will be playing himself. It's his hand. So let's come back here in a second and we're going to roll the dice and see if we can take out the giant Cobra. Alright, so we're going to start off with the clergyman, and we're going to be rolling the yellow die, and it says a player of your choice draws a card. So we're going to actually have Bryn the boatswain draw a card, and he gets a deckhand. That's okay. Should have done that the second we played him down, but we're doing it right now. Alright, and he rolls a 1. Yeehaw! 1 damage against the giant Cobra. He's going to go to 5 damage. Darn it, that wasn't very good. But now we have Kronos the Mage, and he, if we look at his card, it says you may re-roll a yellow or white during this fight. So he's going to be rolling 2 yellow dice. He gets to re-roll 1 of them. Excuse me. Let's see what he gets. He gets a 2 and a 1. Oh man, so he's going to re-roll the 1. Come on, something good. Wow, and he knocked it to a 3. So it would be 2 2s. Damn it! 4 damage. Taking our snake here to 9 damage, which is not quite enough to kill it. Well, Alright, so the giant Cobra is still alive. So now we're going to be processing end of round, and to process end of round, first thing we do is we have the monsters attack the defending player. Well, that would be Kronos. He has no monsters attacking him. Then Greyport City Hall will be attacked by the monsters. The giant Cobra is only going to do 1 damage. That takes Greyport City Hall down to 1 health left. It's still standing, and so is the giant Cobra. Darn it, wanted to knock him out. Didn't quite happen. Now we're going to do cleanup for all players. Discard all played cards. So we're going to discard the clergyman. For Bryn, we're going to discard Kronos and his chronometer for Kronos the Mage. And of course he'll refresh because this was his defending turn. So I'm just going to place him back face up because he will refresh on his turn anyway. So instead of just discarding him and then refreshing him, he is the defending player. Alright, now we go into the recruit phase. So Kronos has a silver and a copper. So he is going to go ahead and recruit a character. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so Kronos will spend a silver coin and he will recruit the Sea Witch Doctor, if this is going to focus. Rolling a white die, it says immediately choose a monster in play. Each other monster in the chosen monster's group immediately deals its damage to the chosen monster. Armor still applies. So pretty cool stuff. That goes directly into his hand. And yes, we replace it immediately with Hova Grand Cleric. Oops, if this will get it in. Here, rolling a white die. Play a non-player hero from your discard pile. Wow, so he just brings a non-player or non-hero player, so that's just one of the regulars, into play. So there you have it. That was Kronos recruiting. Let's continue on with the end of round for him. Alright, so for Kronos, he can now discard any number of cards, and he will keep all of his cards, of course, and he gets to drop to 5, so he draws 1, he gets an acolyte, and a soldier. So now he has 5 cards for his next hand. And that basically is the end of the turn. The taunt marker then moves back to Bryn the boatswain. And away we go once again. So when we come back, we will have Bryn the Boatswain, take a turn. The giant Cobra only has 1 health left, so this is going to be pretty quick to knock him out, I think. Alright, so each character can play 1 card, or 1 hero, and I think we're just going to go ahead and have Bryn play a deckhand, doing 1 damage. And you don't have to play a character. I don't even think Kronos the Mage is going to bother. There's no point him even playing. And so then we're just going to process the attacks. So the deckhand going to do 1 damage to the giant Cobra. So boom, does that. The giant Cobra, 9 hit points to 10. The giant Cobra is killed. And that's going to be it. So we have saved Greyport City Hall. Excuse me. So by doing that, it says each player may immediately recruit a card from the reinforcements. They must spend a recruitment coin as normal. So we have no monsters left at all. So we're going to be ending off the encounter anyway. But we get to immediately spend. We both have a copper coin. And we can do it in any order. Because we've destroyed the last monster, we're actually going to go to the encounter cleanup phase right now. And so let's go ahead and process that. So we must spend all of our coins immediately. So we actually do a cleanup. So we're going to discard, of course, this card. And we get to spend in any order our 2 copper coins. So let's go to the recruit area and see which mage wants, or the mage or the boatswain, which card they like to recruit. All right, and so this actually works out pretty well because they both have a copper coin, but we only have 1 copper item left in the entire area. Well, right now, so we're going to have Kronos spend his copper coin first, and he's going to take the Holy Relic, which gives him a shield and a damage. That's going to go into his hand and immediately gets replaced by a silver dagger, rolling a yellow die. Cool. All right. We have Bryn with a copper coin left. Because there are no copper items or heroes available, we can recruit a silver one. So you can recruit up 1 level. And for a silver, I think we're going to... Oh man, I don't know if we want the Cannoneer or the Elven Bow. I think he's going to go ahead and take the Cannoneer, which lets him roll a white die and splash damage black die. That is pretty cool. And now it's a silver, but he only had a copper, but he's allowed to do that. And we're going to replace the card with a Berserker, rolling a white die, attack +4 if you have 5 hit points or fewer. Well, that might come in handy near the end of the game when our heroes are beaten down quite heavily. All right, I'm going to zoom back out again. We have to basically set up for the next encounter, so it's going to take a little bit of doing. All right, so we've basically finished the first encounter, which, what was it called? City Under Siege. So City Under Siege, boom, finished it. And now we get each character is going to replace their level 1 hero with a level 2. And so Bryn is going to get his level 2 character for the next scenario, which he gets to roll a green die. Still doesn't have any special text, but that's pretty awesome. He's now level 2. Now he can discard any number of cards and draw that many cards as well. So I think he's going to discard the deckhand only, and then he's going to refresh up to 5 cards. So he pulls another ship mage. Okay, well, that's going to be his hand for when we begin in the next encounter. Same thing we're going to do now with Kronos the Mage. Kronos the Mage is going to replace his level 1 character with his level 2. And his level 2 is white die still, or white die this time instead of yellow, a little bit better. He gets to dual wield, so he can take 2 items, 2 magic items on him at the same time. That's pretty awesome. And it says you may reroll any single die used during this fight. You must keep the new result. So he can reroll the white die, or if he uses items that have yellow, he can reroll 1 die of any color. And he can discard down any number of cards. He's going to keep all of his items. He will keep the Sea Witch. He will get rid of the soldier and the ship are the soldier and the acolyte. So he can drop to one more card, and he draws a soldier. Okay, so that's going to be him getting ready for the next encounter. Okay, also we get 2 hit points back in between encounters, so they only had 1 damage. They're both going to go back to 10 hit points, full health. For the second encounter, we are going to remove City Hall now. It is now finished. So we finished with City Under Siege, City of Greyport. All right, done. Greyport City Hall. So I'm going to put them away, and we will come back here in a moment once I get organized, and we're going to set up meet at the melee at the market, the interrupted party encounter number 2. So if we look here quickly, we're playing 2-player, so the location is going to have 11 hit points. The location is going to have 4 threat worth of monster, and each player will have 3 threat worth of monster. Each player is going to get a gold coin, 2 silver coins, or sorry, copper, 2 silver, and a gold, and we're going to shuffle the beasts, or sorry, the brutes in with the beasts. So there's lots going on. We will leave that out there for the moment. Like I said, I have to get things organized. So off screen, I'm going to take, this is the beast cards that we use for our first encounter. We are going to take, if I don't knock things over, we are going to take all of the brute cards, which have the same back, and we're going to shuffle these 2 together to make a new pile. So I'm going to do that off screen. And I also forgot, this top marker will move back to Kronos because he was a defending player at the end of that first encounter. So let me get all those cards shuffled, and we're going to come back, put out the location, and apply all the monsters to our characters and the new location. Alright, and so up here at the top of the screen I have the market district out here, and I will read the text here because it's too far away for you to actually see. It says, play with the top card of the item deck revealed. Players may recruit that card as though it were part of the reinforcements. So we're going to play this card face up, which is a broadsword. Only worth a copper, rolls a white die though. So that's going to be part of, while we're playing with the market district, we're always going to have the top card face up. So we're going to have 5 choices of items instead of 4. If we successfully defend this location, the top card of the item deck remains revealed and recruitable for the rest of the game. So basically, to start off our encounter, we have 1 here. If we recruit this card, then it's not going to just keep flipping over. But once we save the market district, this will always remain flipped over for the remainder of this encounter. Alright, so continuing on with our card here, our location is going to have 11 hit points on it. So we will use our little dice again to indicate that. So the market district has 11 hit points. It is going to get 4 threat worth of monsters, and I shuffled this like crazy. I can do a little more. So there we go. So 4 threat worth of monsters. There's a 2 threat, a shellback. Heroes without items can't fight the shellback. That is attacking the market district. 2 threat. We get 2 more threat to go, and we do have, ooh, a harpy. Yikes. Doing 11 damage. Ambush. Each player discards a card. Well, we don't have an option, do we? It just says each player discards a card, and that's a 2. So that's our 4 threat for our location. So the boatswain has to discard a card. He will discard a ship mage. That's not going to hurt him much, so we're discarding that. And Kronos is going to discard his 1 soldier. That also is not going to affect him too much. Okay, and now we need to come right back and we'll get monsters for our characters. Alright, so consulting the chart here, each player character is going to have a 3 threat worth of monsters in front of them. And so, starting with Bryn the Boatswain, he has a Razor Tooth Beast. Wow, it's a 2-level monster, 8 hit points, and doesn't have any special text, but does a lot of damage. And we still have to keep going because it's 3 or more. And we get a 2-headed giant. He's cursed, so when you take damage from this guy, you also get a cursed card. Holy man, that is brutal for Bryn the Boatswain. Up next, Kronos the Mage, same deal. Rat Master, ambush, add a rat swarm token to this monster group. So that's 2. So we also need to add a rat swarm token monster, which is this one, as well to Kronos. And that's not it, because that's only 2 threat. He gets at least 1 more threat. Wow, another 2 with a Gorgon ranged, 12 hit points, doing 2 damage. This is pretty brutal stuff. So that sets the stage for our next encounter. And I might leave it off there, this episode. I think it's gone on long enough. Now this is going to slip underneath. Oh, and I forgot the coins. Let's not forget the coins. We get 1 copper, 2 silver, and now a gold for each character. So I don't want to forget that, because that's pretty important when we get to the recruit stage. Of course, we want to be able to recruit. So 1 copper, 2 silver, and a gold for each character. So that's going to be for our boatswain, and we're going to get a gold, 2 silver, and copper for Kronos the mage. All right, now we're set up. Kronos going to be first defender. When we come back, we are trying now to defend the market district, and this slides underneath the market district card. If we lose the market district, each player loses 2 hit points. That would be bad news. So we'll slide that under there, and we are good to go. So when we come back, we're going to continue the second encounter. We're trying to defend the market district now, and yeah, going to be kind of brutal. We got a shellback and a harpy. We get lots of hit points, lots of monsters out. I think we're going to be taking some damage this time, but we'll see what we can do. So thanks so much for watching along. This is once again Battle for Greyport. We're playing the Interrupted Party, the revised edition, which came in the expansion, Battle for Greyport Pirates. We're playing with Bryn the Boatswain, and we're playing with Kronos the Mage. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, and likes. Really appreciate it. Join me next time for the continuation, Battle for Greyport, the Interrupted Party Revised Edition.